Nepal. In this country, change never fell from above. It always rose from below. People in the streets, voices that did not give up. In 2025, Gen Z didn't accept censorship. They shouted, "End corruption, end unemployment." Police used tear gas and rubber bullets, then they used the real ones. Many young people died. The government resigned. But this wasn't new in Nepal. For centuries, the pattern repeats. People rise up, regimes fall, and the nepotism returns with a new face. Let's look closer. For centuries, Nepalese society followed the Hindu caste system, a ladder you are born into. At the top were priests and sages, below them warrior chetris. Then merchants and artisans, at the bottom workers. Outside the four castes were the Dalits, called untouchables. They could not drink from the same well or enter the same temples. At shops, when they left money on the counter, so the shopkeeper would not touch their hands. They did the hardest jobs: leather work, cleaning, grave digging. This was not only about money, it was also spiritual and social separation. But Nepal is also braid. In the Kathmandu Valley, especially among the Newar people, Hinduism and Buddhism lived together. Many temples held both deities. Festivals and rituals were shared. Two faiths on one street, a complex identity. In the mid-1700s, Nepal was many small, weak kingdoms. Prithvi Narayan Shah started to unite them in the 1740s. In 1769, he captured the Kathmandu Valley and built one center of power. Unification was not only pride, it was survival between China in the north and the British East India Company in the south. In 1814, the British came for Himalayan passes. The Gurkhas fought with great courage. After Sujauli Treaty, Nepal lost one-third of its land. Nepal stayed independent, rare in South Asia, but Britain used a new plan: recruit Gurkhas. Tens of thousands of Nepalis fought in World War I and II in British armies. In 1846, Jang Bahadur Rana took power in a palace coup. The court massacre removed his rivals. For about 100 years, real power stayed with the Rana family. Modernization was stopped on purpose. Schools were for the upper castes. Women were pushed out of public life. Railways and industry were blocked. The press was silent. Taxes for heavy, fertile land stayed with elites. People remember this time as a century without air. Britain accepted this order. Nepal was a buffer state and the Gurkhas served in wars. It was safe and useful for others, but it didn't serve the Nepalese people at all. After World War II, Indians' independence gave hope across the border. Exiled Nepalis, especially the Nepali Congress, organized in Delhi. Then, a surprise, King Tribhuvan refused to be a Rana puppet. He went to Delhi and joined the opposition. Delhi Agreement in 1951. The king returned, Rana's shared power, and multi-party elections were promised. Kathmandu celebrated. Students hoped for free education. Farmers hoped for land reform. But hope met reality. A people locked out of politics for 100 years had no institution and few trained leaders. The Ranas had blocked civil society on purpose. New governments were weak. Coalitions fell apart. The bureaucracy still ran on old loyalty networks. Land reform was slow. Schools still missed the villages. Democracy arrived, but daily life did not change. In 1960, King Mahendra used the chaos. He dissolved parliament, banned parties, and built the panchayat system. On paper, it was local representation from village to nation. In practice, parties were banned and power returned to the king. Feudal order stayed in the countryside. Cities were stagnant. Even graduates couldn't find jobs. The Cold War like disquiet. India wanted stability, China wanted a calm border, and the USA preferred a royal ally to a communist risk. In the late 70s, oil-rich Gulf countries needed workers. Migration became a lifeline and a want. Fathers left, then sons left. Families split to pay for the future. Inequality grew. Some families rose with remittances, others fell behind. In 1980, a referendum on parties, the no side won by a small margin. But the public was tired. 1990, protests exploded. Not only students, workers, farmers, women, and the urban middle class joined. Police violence grew, so did the crowds. King Birendra stepped back. Multi-party democracy returned. The king became symbolic. After 30 years, people could change government with a vote. But again, coalitions broke. Parties fought inside themselves. Farmers still waited for land. Cities still waited for jobs. Migration increased. Hope fell. In 1996, the Communist Party began a people's war. Maoist groups formed in mountain areas where the state was weak. This wasn't only a military fight. It forced marginalized groups into politics. Feudal landowners lost power. Thousands of women joined guerrilla units. Dalits entered village councils. The movement also lifted ethnic and religious groups that had been ignored. In many places, Maoists offered parallel justice where the state failed. We will judge, we will govern. After 10 years, more than 16,000 were dead. Thousands disappeared. Villages were empty. The economy stalled. But society changed. Women and Dalits became visible in politics. June 1st, 2001, tragedy in Narayanhiti Palace. Crown Prince Dipendra killed King Birendra, Queen Aishwarya, then himself. The official story said family dispute. Many people didn't believe it. For many, the king was the earthly form of Vishnu. The massacre broke that sacred link. The monarchy lost its strongest legitimacy. King Gyanendra first promised reform, then in 2005 took full control. Parliament dissolved, opposition silenced, the army under the king. Two rivals united, Maoists and democratic parties worked together, with India mediating. 2006, the largest protest in Nepal's history filled mighty Mandala Square. Police cracked down, people came back in greater numbers. Under international pressure, the king stepped back. Parliament reopened. Maoists joined the peace process. 2008, the monarchy ended. Nepal became a republic. New Nepal was the hope. The hardest job was writing a constitution. The biggest fight was over federal borders. It was not only about maps, it was about culture and identity. Madhesi and Tharo leaders wanted regions that protected their people. Parties in Kathmandu feared the country would split. Years passed without a constitution. April 2015, an earthquake hit Kathmandu. More than 9,000 died. Historic temples fell. Billions in aid arrived, but help felt slow and uneven. People waited in tents. Many believed aid followed party loyalty. Trust in the state broke again. September 2015, a new constitution created a secular republic with 7 federal states. Quotas for women increased, Dalit representation rose. But Madese and Taro leaders said the borders cut their communities. Protests closed roads in Terai. Trucks stopped at the Indian border. People saw this as a pressure from India. Fuel and food ran short. Life froze. 2017, the left won big, then split into factions. Governments were short-lived again. Family ties shaped politics again. Ministries went to loyalty, not merit. Unemployment stayed. Migration became a de facto policy. Hundreds of thousands left for the Gulf each year. Thousands died in work accidents. Remittances reached about 1/3 of national income. Then came social media. Young people no longer saw only their own struggle. On the same screen, they saw ministers' children in luxury cars, foreign universities, and big, beautiful weddings. Nepotism stopped being an idea. It became a feat. Before elections, youth started the No Nata campaign online. Videos went viral. The government tried to ban these posts. The Supreme Court blocked the ban for free speech. Kathmandu elected Balend Shah, an independent engineer and rapper, as mayor. Proof that change can come from outside the old parties. 2025, September 4. The government banned 26 social media platforms. The reason was fighting fake news. Everyone knew it was censorship. In Nepal, the internet is not a toy. It's work, family, and organization. The next day, VPN downloads exploded. Students gathered at universities and high schools. Within days, the main slogan changed. Don't shut us, shut corruption. September 8, Maitigar Mandala Square filled with tens of thousands. Police used tear gas and rubber bullets. This time the crowd did not break. Police used live ammunition. 19 young people died that day. Bloody school uniforms became a national memory. September 9, anger grew. Government buildings burned. Parliament Hall burned. That evening, Prime Minister Ole resigned. The social media ban was lifted. By the time the fires were out, 72 people had died. A new subject in history, the events of 2025 did more than remove a cabinet. They showed the arrival of Gen Z. This generation grew up online. They do not only feel injustice. They see it, compare it, and share it in real time. We saw similar waves in Sudan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Philippines. Gen Z is no longer a passive audience. They are actors in the story. Today, Kathmandu, yesterday, Manila. Tomorrow, maybe somewhere we are not yet watching. Which country's Gen Z will be next?